Behind me is a painting that utterly shocked 19th century Norway. This is Albertine's story, a tale of deprivation, suppression, censorship, and ultimately a quest for justice. Albertine to See the Police Surgeon was created by Christian Krohg in 1885. Krohg was highly successful for his poignant portrayals of the working class world. He came from a middle class family but had a heightened sense of social injustice. In 1879 he visited Skagen in Denmark, where he immersed himself in the lives of the working class and mixed with other painters of the time. He mostly painted unflinching or out in the open air, but was much more influenced by the Barbizon school's realism than he was impressionist. You could think of Krohg kind of like the 19th century Norway Stephen Fry, a true polymath, painter, lawyer, naturalist, illustrator, journalist and novelist. What could he do? He began Albertine to See the Police Surgeon between 1885 and 1887. That one behind me. This piece stars Albertine, the main character from his novel, which he published within that time as well. The book describes the terrible dilemma of a seamstress girl who, after being raped while unconscious by a police superintendent, is shunned by society and ultimately forced into prostitution. Krohg wrote Albertine to highlight the hypocrisy of the authorities' approach to prostitution in Christiania, now known as Oslo. Prostitution had been made illegal since 1842. However, the exploitation of these women was tactically endorsed through compulsory examinations conducted by police surgeons to limit the spread of VD. This injustice motivated Krohg to write his novel. Its scenes of rape and the enforced gynecological examinations caused the book to be confiscated by the state within a day. No doubt citing Article 100 of the Norwegian Constitution, protecting freedom of expression, Krohg took the case against the publication of his novel to the Supreme Court. He lost and was fined 110 kroner. However, this did get it picked up by the paper, leading to around 5,000 protests gathering outside the Prime Minister's office. After the confiscation of his novel, he took on the stage again, this time a little bit more colourfully, and with immediate impact by painting this. It's essential to notice the size of this piece. It's 10.6 foot by 6.8 foot, a very large piece, with figures that are life-size, making them very hard to ignore and a lot more relatable. The exhibition of this work created a shockwave, with queues forming around the gallery, comprising not just the regular audience of upper-class elites, but also working-class people as well, demonstrating the power of art to provoke thought and action. The style is realist, but painted with relatively loose brushstrokes. The finish is not pretty or polished. There is no sentimentalising of what is, for the woman, a purely degrading scene, enhancing the rawness and authenticity of the painting. The room's bare walls are a tatty institutional green, and the floor is just a bare wood. In the front centre stands two older, very well-dressed women, their disdain for Albertine evident. One leaning over the other, perhaps whispering biting remarks, seemingly quite accustomed to this kind of ordeal. The other, looking out of the canvas, almost to ask the viewer's opinion. This figure is much more ambiguous, and her role in the painting is to make us think and question, what are we seeing? What do we make of the scenes before us? The woman shown in profile on the far right is cut off from the scene, separating this piece from others of the time, where characters mostly stood in frame. I use the words in frame because this is likely to emulate the effects of a camera lens, a comparatively recent invention of the time, which enforces the reality and instantaneousness of this moment. Next to her, a young woman, perhaps even just a girl, is balancing on a bench in the corner, trying to get a better view and hear what is happening from behind the crowds. Her youthful innocence contrasting with the oppressive reality around her. All the other women are dressed in relatively costly clothing, except for this girl, as well as one other, standing in the front of the surgeon's door, awaiting her intrusive examination. This girl is wearing the clothes of a country girl, gloveless, with a simple scarf over her head. This is Albertine. She is depicted in profile, but we are shown enough of her downcast face to register how utterly defeated she is by being ushered into the surgeon's office by a policeman wearing the uniform of her oppressor. Krohg has pushed Albertine right to the back, where she's accustomed to be, but is still central to the painting. All eyes on her, guiding our eyes there too. Typically for Krohg, paintings were not for decoration, they were to further social debate. Krohg was a pioneer, an early supporter of Edvard Munch. Art is important because of the empathy it can engage in an audience, shaping public opinion. If you're interested in this story and want to hear more about Krohg's work, including his tender depictions of domestic life and his stunning portraits, get yourself a Vieunite digital art camera, like the one behind me. Turn your home into a gallery with access to thousands of incredible pieces just like this.